Brad Hamilton, everybody. Brad Hamilton.
Well, good evening, ladies and gents. I apologise in advance if any of my phrases are not familiar on these shores, but please bear with me, you'll get there in the end. So, just come back from a trip on the West Coast, and I've realised that there's a specific type of airline passenger that I actually despise. And that's namely the person that feels the need when the plane lands to start clapping. What the fuck are you doing? It's like the Rain Man could get, accused of doing something stupid like that. You've effectively been sitting in a giant floating prison for the last 5 hours. You haven't been watching Swan Lake. You haven't been watching Phantom of the Opera. You fucking dicks. Anyway, apologies. What else with the airport? So I think I've come to the impression that US airport security is perhaps the most racist employer in the entire world. I always imagine a telephone interview must be an absolute charm. In my mind it goes something like this. Hello, have your resume here, everything looks great. I see you have a limited grasp of English, that's super. For hobbies, you've put being surly and rude, that's super. And I see you left school at 12 with a series of petty conviction crimes. It's wonderful. I think I'm about ready to go ahead and offer you... whoa, what's wrong? For ethnicity, you've put white. That was the incorrect answer, sir. What was the correct answer? Anything. Anything but that, I'm afraid. So I've been getting very annoyed in Dwayne Reed recently. It happens every time to me. You go in, you just want to buy your water, your gum, or your lube, or whatever else it might be, and you cannot go to the cash register without being harassed for some generic charity, and it's always the same girl. It embarrasses me. Hey, so would you like to just give just $5 to the Blind Penguin Society? No, it's fine. I just want to pay and go. Okay, well, what about $5 for dogs with AIDS or something? I don't know. No, I just. What about pigs with a bad? I don't get to fucking charity. Suddenly, the 15 guys behind me in line think I'm a total asshole. So I've been in the US for a little while now. Reasonably newly single, and I must confess that the prospect of going out dating is absolutely terrifying, to the point where I don't think I'll ever have sex ever again. What I normally do is I'll rely upon getting someone drunk and then seeing if I can convince them to play that old-fashioned game of just the tip. It's a great game, you should try it at home, ladies and gentlemen. But the problem is exactly, I just don't think the world is fair, because my chat with women is average to terrible, and I subsequently, it's a very sympathetic, I get average to terrible results. But if I was some A-list celebrity, if I was George Clooney, I literally could have the shittest banter since Helen Keller. For those of you who are very young, didn't go to school, she was blind, deaf, come on. Education in this country is terrible, Jesus. Now, I can imagine George when he's chatting up a woman, it goes something like this. In my mind, he probably says, so, hello. You clearly know who I am. How about you get on that, yeah? I don't know why, I'm not quite so sure why I made that so rapey. Let me try again, 1 second. So, hello, you know who I am. I thought maybe you might want to get on that. 87.6% of the time, I've done the maths. You know what the response will be? That's, exactly, yeah. You raise a very valid point. And, well, exactly, if I would go, just once at school. The response would be yes. Yes, I think I would very much like to get on that. Thank you. So one of my problems, why I struggle to get laid, is that I get very nervous on dates, and I find myself staring at women, and not in the best fashion. Now the problem is that what I don't understand is why men as a species, why have we failed to evolve? We don't need to run the gauntlet and the risk of staring at your breasts and buttocks. We simply don't. We all have smartphones now. In 30 seconds, I can be on the internet Googling whatever I want. Pregnant teen cream pies, for argument's sake. Don't be embarrassed, you've all been there. But the problem I have is I don't get caught looking at breasts and buttocks, which after 1,000 years is largely socially acceptable now. The problem I have is I'm a little bit darker, and I'm terrified that I will get caught staring at that very mythical of beasts, the female camel toe. Now, for any ladies out here who own a camel toe, definitely some of you here, I would imagine, when you catch a guy looking at you, there's no easy way to do it. If you get caught looking at breasts, you're kind of a bit cheeky. Camel toe, you will just come across as like... You can't do it very well. Now, the problem is that if you get caught staring at camel toe, that is effectively one step away from Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. I may as well say to the girl, excuse me, you don't just mind helping me get this mattress in the back of my van, do you? It's similar kind of behaviour. Some film trivia for you there. The other reason why I struggle to get laid is I just feel like the world has passed me by. What has happened to asking for a girl's number, going on 3 reasonably awkward dates that may then lead to awkward sexual intercourse? I don't understand. It's actually been replaced so that... Exactly. Thank you. So the kids tell me it's been replaced by swiping right, sending a picture of your genitals, and then 2 hours later meeting up to have sex, probably without a condom. When did this become the norm? And what's crucial, if you're over the age of 30 like I am, why has no one informed you of this? This is a huge cultural shift. I would like to have been told. Now, the problem I have is that I miss how easy things are in a relationship. Like, for me getting a blowjob, for example, is as likely now as me going to the moon, which, perversely enough, is one of mankind's greatest achievements. This is my segue. But what I believe to be a far greater achievement is how mankind has persuaded women that putting a penis in your mouths is acceptable behaviour. Is it really? If you think about it, it's absolutely grotesque. Some horrible, sad-looking, last chicken in the shop, rinky-looking thing, which I might add we piss from, that's acceptable to put in a mouth, is it? But what I want to know is the first man that made this quite stunning breakthrough. In my mind, I imagine cavemen sitting around a fire millions of years ago, and then suddenly Kevin, because this was his name, comes frantically running back to the fire. Oh my God, guys, you'll never guess what? Whoa, what's wrong, what's wrong? You know Claire from the Blue Tribe? No. Well, you know, the girl with the great forearms and the bone thrower nose. Well, oh my God, I just put that in her fucking mouth. Even the guy creating the wheel would drop everything for that one. Ladies and gents, you've been great. Have a lovely